Hey everyone, today I'm going to be going over albums that influenced me as a teenager. I seen this is like a long time ago. I've seen this in so many people's videos that they've done like their 20 albums of that influenced them from their teens. I'm going to change that up. I'm still only going to do 10 albums because 20 albums is a lot. So what I did was, this is my probably top 10 albums that influenced me from my teens that I still listen to today. You know, because there's some stuff that, some radio stuff that I don't really listen to all that often. So I wanted to top 10 albums that influenced me in my teens that I still listen to today and I think are awesome. So, excuse me. So, yeah, I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna start off in the beginning. So I'm gonna start off with my first, I guess, album, and that's Metallica's Black Album. I think that's what got me into heavier stuff. I did listen to like my younger days before I turned into a teenager. Like the Motley Crue was probably the heaviest stuff that I got into. I really liked like Dr. Feelgood, some radio stuff, some hair metal bands like Poison, Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses. But like, yeah, I think Metallica Black Album really put me in search of like heavier stuff and the metal, I guess. And that's what started everything. It really got me into the more interested, I guess. And then I got into like Soundgarden. Super Unknown is probably like, it's still my favorite, like Soundgarden. I think what, 94 that came out. Roughly the same time I got into Alice in Chains, and I'll probably say like grind really got me into that. So Super Unknown, like seeing the video for that and listening to them on the radio really got me into Soundgarden, and really got into like Alice in Chains next. The grind albums, like I remember hearing that song on the radio and really get into that. Like I do love Dirt as well, but one of my favorite all-time albums. So like really got into, those are my two favorite grunge bands, and I still listen to them today and everything. So again, probably when I think about it and look at it, like James is one of my favorite singers and vocalists, whatever. Chris Cornell, one of my favorite vocalists, and like Lynn Staley. So like, really love the vocals from those guys, right? So it's kind of unfortunate that 2 out of 3 are gone now and passed away. Rest in peace to both of you. I remember the first time that I heard Megadeth Countdown to Extinction, Symphony of Destruction. I heard that song on the radio, and then finding out like Dave Mustaine used to be in Metallica, and that kind of like helped me like search for Megadeth stuff and really get into Megadeth and stuff like that. But like, I think the first time like hearing Symphony of Destruction was like, wow, like that opening riff, like dun 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 dun, so heavy, like on the radio. You're whatever, 13, 14 years old, however old I was, whatever, 15 years old, like living in a small town, like that was money to me, for sure. Next band is Korn. I put Korn, even though I don't really listen much to Korn Well, I don't really listen to Korn at all anymore, but that first album, like that, like I'm So Blind, like I think Korn kind of got me into like the heavier stuff. Like, oh, there's heavier stuff than Metallica. There's heavier stuff than what I'm hearing. The way I found out about Korn was this guy in my grade in high school. I think I was in grade 10 by then, and he had the album cover, and you know, the girl on the swing, and some creepy guy, like a creepy shadow, you know. And I remember seeing that, and I seen the Korn logo, and I was into sports, playing on sports teams, and I remember and the kid was like more, I mean, the guy who's the kid, he's the same age as I am, you know, he was more into the goth friends, I guess, like the goth group. I don't know, whatever you want to say. I don't want to label it anybody, but I remember seeing he had the CD, he had his Discman out, and he had his headphones, and I was like, hey, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's a band Korn. You probably won't like it. It's probably be too heavy for you. I'm like, oh, I listen to like Metallica and Megadeth and stuff. Like, can I like give it a listen to? And he put it on, and the first song was Blind, and I was like, whoa, I'm like, this is so effing heavy. And I was like, I gotta get this. I think I went to local music store the next day, or maybe that weekend, and bought the Korn album, and so my friends who were getting into the heavier stuff, and we became Korn fans at that time. But like, yeah, just hearing that sound, that tone, that 7-string tone, like we just realized that there's more out there, right? So yeah, next band I gotta say is Tool. Hearing Tool on the radio. Radio is a big thing for me, and hearing the song Sober. So I went out and bought that Undertow CD, and I mean, became Korn fans, and then Enema came out, and I think that became like the it album for us who like Tool and stuff. So yeah, so like Enema was really like the album that made us Tool fans for sure. Next one is I gotta say it's Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power. I think it's next to Vulgar Display of Power, and I'm gonna say Exodus, Psalm 442, and I'm gonna combine Sound of White Noise. The thing is, a used CD store opened up in our town, and so me and my friends, we would go over there like every weekend or every other weekend, and we would like search for stuff, and we became fans. Like, we found like these 3 albums, and we found like COC, we found a whole bunch of stuff like that we became fans of, right? So, but I remember these 3 albums were one of the first times we bought them. I bought Anthrax, Sound of White Noise, and then my buddy bought Stomp 442, and he bought the Pantera album. And we listened to that, and we became big fans of Pantera, and we became big fans of Anthrax, and we really became big fans of it was funny with the Anthrax albums, because a lot of people talk smack about Stomp 442 and Sound of White Noise, and meanwhile they were the first albums that I got into from Anthrax. And it's just like, yeah, like it's just funny to me, I guess. Yeah, I became a big John Bush fan, and it wasn't until later I got into like Among the Living and stuff. But I just find it funny. But like I love those albums, like Pantera. I mean, the first time like we just sat down and just ghetto blaster and we just listened to Vulgar Display of Power. I think when This Love came on, it was just like, whoa, like this guy can sing and he could scream like that too. Like it was just a pure amazement. So yeah, the next two albums that I got, I'm trying to think how, so the next album I'm gonna go with is Machine Head, The More Things Change. And this was like, once I got a license, I would go to Windsor and go to the mall there, and we would like kind of like we would blind buy, like look at the cover and be like, oh, this looks heavy, and we'd buy that, whatever. But I remember buying the Machine Head album, The More Things Change, and then they have the Decaying Hands on the album cover. I'm like, oh, this has got to be really heavy. And I mean, the first time listening to that album, I didn't like it. And then I listened to it again, and then like me and my buddy would listen to it, and like we got like more and more into it, and then we realized how heavy this album was and how raw it was, and then we just became big Machine Head fans. And then it just made us realize, like, yeah, again, like there's just something more out there. I thought it was so heavy. I thought it was the heaviest thing ever, even heavier than Pantera. Like he had more of a rugged voice, Rob Flynn and stuff. So, and then yeah, so then that brings me to Sepultura Roots. Is probably what that got me into Sepultura, and probably like more like death metal stuff, and kind of helped me get into bands like Slayer and stuff, and into like death, and so it was probably like that helped me get into like death metal. But I think this is where, so in this Sepultura Roots, like Bloody Roots was the big song, and that was just that was from, everybody had like Maker's Ball from MTV Canada. We had Much Music, so we had it was called Loud, so it'd be on at like midnight. Much Music Loud would be on midnight on Saturdays, and yeah, I was stay up, watch, and you know, and that's what got me into like the heavier stuff, like Fear Factory. It got me into Slayer, Death and stuff. Meshuggah, I remember seeing the video for Meshuggah and stuff. But like Roots, Bloody Roots was like, I mean, that opening riff, and then Max comes on there, and they're headbanging, and so that like started the whole train for me for Sepultura and like heavier stuff. So yeah, so those are my like probably 10. I wanted to keep this under 15 minutes and stuff. I could probably talk about this all day, right? So, but like that gives you an understanding about me a little bit more, and some of my influences from my teens. And I think some of my friends would be like, oh yeah, I can see that and understand that. I mean, I think a lot of people my age, you know, probably from 40s to 50s or whatever, will understand this. And you know, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. And remember, metal never dies. Cheers, everybody.